Well, hi. Sorry I'm posted for a while. Been really busy. As you can see, we're shooting a bit of green. So what I want to do is just talk you through how we go about powdering these. They look relatively simple, but believe you me, there's a little bit more to it than that. Now, these have already been zinc primered with the Interpon or Chromadex 660. So it's a heavy zinc primer. They're blasted beforehand, obviously. So what we're going to do is, just bear with me when I struggle a bit. We'll hang it up and I'll show you how I do it, if I can. Now, just bear in mind that obviously you need a really good earth. I use these little stainless swivels. They're pretty good actually. They are not bad at all. And there we go. It's hung. And it's hung in such a way as that we can get in there. So that's going to be the tough bit, because obviously trying to powder in really tight spaces can be a little bit difficult. So what I was going to just show you is the settings on my Wagner Prima is, as you can see, 15 microamps and 50 kilovolts. Alright, so the reason it's so low is because we have got to get in here somehow, and I just want to show you the way I do it. Might not necessarily be the way that other people do it, or so-called professionals and all that business, but I want to show you anyway. So bear with us. So by the way, I've got the powder set fairly average and on the gun, because we've got the plate nozzle on. It's wound all the way down, it won't go down any lower. So there we go. That's how that's set up. And the powder, incidentally, via that little control there, is just boiling away. So when you pull the trigger, the powder boils, which is exactly what you want. And as with always, when it comes to powdering tight spaces, you want to start with the tight spaces first. So what we'll do is that we'll make sure no powder comes rattling out the end of the gun, put the gun in the end, and pull the trigger, and then just give it a good old swirl and give it some time, being very careful not to hear the cracking of the high voltage, you know, of the KVs rattling across the parts. So you can see actually in one hit, very difficult to see because of light, I've got right in every corner just by swirling it around a little. So if you just bear with me a sec, let's see if we can get a little bit better light on it. Let's grab the torch. And you can see actually we've pretty much got it all. Alright, and now there's some little grey areas up the sides in those corners, but they will powder from the other side. So what we'll do is we'll powder the outside, so that you can see what actually happens when you do that. So just giving it a nice little powder, keeping the gun decent distance away from the part, because being a second coat, and bear in mind these are going in the ground, so if anybody says, oh, you got a lump here and a lump there, trust me, the customer just did not want to pay for this. So there we go. Give it a light dust in there, and then we'll spin it around. Like I say, the joy of having a swivel rather than trying to mess around with anything else is quite nice. So there we go. Let's just powder these sides, this side. Get those corners. That powder will go in quite nicely into every little orifice. Make sure we get a nice coverage there, and underneath, and up in under there. There we go. And that is one of those little bad boys powders. Just check with the torch, make sure there's no shiny bits. The insides have, you can see the insides have covered in those corners. All the tight areas covered. Everywhere's covered beautifully. And that is how we powder those nasty little tight corners in little tight areas like that. it is quite. Let me just show you the other corners so you can see I ain't cheating none. So there you go. That's the corner we looked at just now, and the powder's right in there, and right in there. All right. So what I'll do is I'll finish doing the rest of these, and then I'll come back and show you after they've been baked. Just as a little addition, I just thought I'd show you. There's the temp on the readout there, and set at 15 minutes, which is the cure time for the Chromadex powders. But I just want to show you when we start the timer, because this timer is obviously not started yet. There's a lot of people make mistakes when they don't, they don't wait for the part material temperature, the PMT, for want of a better acronym. But it is important, because there's no point in setting a timer for a cure time if it's not at the point for it to cure. What I'm going to do is just going to throw open the oven door a minute, shine the torch in there, excuse the noise, and you'll see we're just about at flow out. Can you see it's just shiny, just about to start to flow out. Some places started flowing out because it's thinner material. So we'll give it just a little bit longer before we start the timer. We'd like to see all the material, flowing out over all the different thicknesses of material. Then we know we're at part material temperature. It's only a little thing, but I just thought it'd be a nice little addition to the to the video. It's so easy to make the mistake where you've got a little piece of 2mm welded to a piece of 10mm. You see the 2mm flow out and you think, great, let's start the timer. The problem is with that is that undercured powder is exceedingly brittle. It chips and cracks and peels and does all kinds of nasty stuff. So you do need to make sure that the thicker material is at that temperature. The Chromadex powders, or Interpon, or whatever you want, AkzoNobel, whatever company you want to call it, but it's the same. It's the same company. They're quite resistant to overcuring. So if you have got a very thin piece of material and you see that it's flowing out, and you haven't started the timer yet, it's not really a big deal. I've spoken to a couple of the Chromadex reps, and they've all said the same thing. It is very resilient on overcuring, but like any other powder, exceedingly brittle undercured. So just a note, thought it'd be worth me mentioning. So I'll catch you when we drag these parts out of the oven a little bit later. Okay, so there they are. They've just been baked for, they've been in there for 15 minutes, just under a 15-minute cure. If we just pick one up and drag it out, hang it on our stand a minute. There we go. So, there you go. All nicely done. All nicely done on the inside. Hang on. Let me just do that. And you can see. So they got in all those edges, all the edges down through here. All that's done. So just thought I'd show you. There you go. A little bit messy inside, but these are just post supports. They go in the ground, but just the top stick out, so customer wanted them green. He's got them green. So there you go. I'll pull out one of the bigger, heavier ones. Here we go. This one. Ooh. Hang that on there. And there we go. There's the other one. So there you go. You can see. We hold the light to it, as it were. Ooh. There we are. There we have it. And inside, exactly the same. Oh, it's a little bit of a. Oh no, that's just reflection. So yeah, not so good. For what it is, it's all good. But I just thought I'd show you how you can get in there. Obviously, cleanliness next to godliness and all that kind of thing. But these have come out pretty well, like I say, for what they are. They go in the ground, nobody will ever see them, they won't see them for decades, but doesn't stop you from doing a half decent job now, does it? Anyway, there we go. So if If you like the video, like the contents, then please hit the like button, subscribe. Always helps, just spurs me on to get out of bed in the morning sometimes to make more videos. But yeah, I hope it's of some help. If you've got any questions, then just leave in the comments below. I'm always happy to answer. Might not answer straight away because busy boy, but you know, please by all means ask whatever you want as far as this is this is concerned, and I'll do my very best to get back to you as soon as I can. Anyway, that's it for now. Cheers.